What's going on, brothers? I hope you're all having a blessed day today. Before I started self-improvement, I was a gamer. Games were quite literally all I did back then. I'd wake up, eat breakfast, and if I didn't have school that day, I'd hop right on. If I did have school, I'd go to school. I wouldn't be focused on class. I wouldn't pay attention to anything because the only thing on my mind were video games. The second I got home, I may or may not have done some homework. Then I'd instantly hop on Roblox or 2K or whatever I felt like playing that day. Soon, I got fed up with how my life was going at the time due to a bunch of different things. And that's around about the same time I discovered self-improvement. I discovered all of these different habits and tactics that I could implement into my life so that I could actually see some change, so that I could actually better myself, so I could actually improve. I decided I was gonna start working out, improving my physique because that's what was bothering me at the time. I gotten tired of being this small, frail, skinny little twig that I had always been. So I hadn't started going to the gym at this point, but I was doing normal things like push-ups, sit-ups, squats, and things of that nature. So I worked out a few times and then I stopped, right? I kept making excuses for myself as to why I couldn't. Oh, I'm too tired, or I don't have time to do this, when in reality, I would just be using all of my time playing video games, wasting away my brain. So fast forward a good amount and school was over now. It was summer break. And I had looked back and I realized I hadn't made any progress. I hadn't actually gotten anywhere. Given all of this, I had to think for a quick second because I still wanted to play games because I was still a gamer, but I also wanted to work out. I wanted to improve my physique. So I was thinking, I was like, well, if I want to do both of them, I know damn well I'm not going to want to work out after I start playing games. So what if I did it before? What if I specified a time that I was going to work out, and then after that, I could game all I want? So I decided that I was going to figure out a workout plan, and the one I ended up picking was an upper-lower split. I convinced my parents to give me a gym membership and take me to the gym. And I decided that over the summer, every 4 days out of the week, every morning, I would wake up, I'd eat breakfast, I'd go to the gym. When I got back, I would play games all I wanted to. And what do you know? That's exactly what happened. I'd work out for maybe an hour and a half and I'd come home and I just game, all the way throughout the day. And obviously I missed a few days, but the overarching course of that summer was I did hit the gym quite often. And what ended up happening is I gained around 25 pounds. I finally bulked up and I wasn't, that skinny little dude I was anymore. So the reason that I was able to, start hitting the gym so consistently was because I sort of made a routine. I would wake up, eat, work out, and then play video games. Routines take the decision making out of the day. You don't have to think about it. You don't have any room to make an excuse as to why you can't do that because you already planned to do it before. Because when you don't have a routine, you're not going to do the stuff that you need to do to improve yourself. You're just going to default back to the bad habits, the things that are easier to do, the things that don't take effort to do. Because, well, why should I? I didn't really, I might have wanted to, but it's not like it was set in stone. It's not like I specifically planned to do this at this time. So you just end up doing what you would normally do. You end up watching Netflix. You end up masturbating. You end up playing video games all day. You make so many excuses as to why you can't do the good habits, the good things, and you never end up accomplishing anything. With routines, however, you've already made the decision of what you're going to do at that time before it gets there. If you know beforehand that at 9 a.m. you're going to go to the gym, when 9 a.m. comes, you've already made the decision. All you've got to do is get dressed and go out, start working out. Routines make it easy to get the good habits done, and they make it easy to do the things that you need to do to make progress. That's why I was able to hit the gym so consistently, because I made a routine, and after I finished, I just went and played games all day. So now that you know why routines are so OP, for those of you who don't know what that means, it's basically gamer slang for overpowered. So it's like, really strong essentially. So now that you know that they're great basically, how exactly do you go about creating one? Well, the first step in any successful routine is you have to determine your sleep schedule. You have to set a time that you can wake up at and a time you can go to sleep at for the rest of your life. And the reason you do this is to create this consistent pattern in your brain so you get tired at the same time and you're ready to wake up at the same time, and it's really good for your sleep health basically. And you have to ensure that you're getting at least 8 hours of sleep. so that you aren't sleep deprived. When I was first deciding my sleep schedule, I took a lot of things into consideration. So most of my life, I woke up at 6 a.m. due to school, but I would always go to sleep at random times due to my gaming habit. I always knew that I was somewhat of an early riser, but waking up at 6 never really sat right with me. It was a bit too early for me to actually want to get up and do anything. 7 a.m., however, was the time that I was positive I could wake up for the rest of my life. So I simply subtracted 8 hours from that and ended up at 11 p.m. So I had essentially figured out my sleep schedule. I go to sleep at 11 and I wake up at 7. Some days I might end up staying up a bit later, but I usually make sure to always wake up at around 7 a.m. So once you've determined your sleep schedule, you need to add one thing to your daily routine. For me back then, it was going to the gym, but now I like to try and meditate right after I wake up. For you, it might be the same like meditation, and you might like to go for a jog, you might like to hit the gym, you might like to get straight into some deep work. Whatever that thing may be, pick one and add it into your routine. I say only add one thing because if you go from having no routine to creating a full-on, full-day routine cold turkey, you're gonna end up getting overwhelmed and just not do anything. So pick one thing and put it straight into your routine. And try and do this for a week. You might miss a day or two, but just make sure to get back in the next day and make sure you get it done. And basically just get comfortable with the routine. Now, once you get through this week, I want you to add one more thing to your routine. And preferably this will be right before or right after the first thing that you added. Now, the reason for that is because of this concept from the book Atomic Habits called habit stacking. And what habit stacking is the principle that essentially if you stack habits, one after another, you're going to be more likely to get them done. You're going to be more likely to do them. Personal example would be like my morning routine. I wake up, I meditate, go for a jog, cold shower, and then I take care of all my hygiene stuff. The reason I'm able to, get that done most of the time is because it's one after another. After I finish one thing, I know, the next thing I have to do, and I go ahead and get it done. I started out with just meditation, but then I kept adding, one thing after another until I created like a full-on morning routine. So essentially, you want to keep doing this. You want to keep repeating this process until you've got a full-on routine that you're going to be able to follow day in and day out. Now, this might seem a bit obvious, but you also want to include, parts of your day, parts of your routine where you're doing tasks that move the lever. And when I say tasks that move the lever, I mean doing things that push you forward to whatever goal it is you're trying to reach. So if you're trying to get better at a sport, you'd have a specific spot in your routine where you go out and practice every day. If you're trying to grow your YouTube channel, you'd have a specific spot where you upload and record videos. If you're trying to start an agency, you'd have a specific spot where you do your outreach, whether that be cold emails, cold calling, cold DMing, whatever it is that you do. Taking myself as an example, I'm trying to grow my channel while also, growing an agency. So I make 50 cold calls a day, right after I finish my morning routine. And then later in the day is when I record and upload videos. So now you actually know how to create your routine, but knowing that is only half the battle. You have to actually do something. You have to actually take action if you want to achieve anything in life. So as a bit of an actionable step, I want you to take out your notes app or open your calendar or whatever it is you write on. And I want you to create your sleep schedule. And I want you to follow this sleep schedule for the rest of your life. And use this same notes app, your calendar, or whatever it is you chose. And keep adding things into that routine until you've got your full on, routine that you can follow every single day. So hopefully you all found value in this video. Go ahead and leave a like if you enjoyed it, or maybe even subscribe if you just fuck with me as a person. Anyway, let's put the work in. Mwah.